Good way to start the stream. We're live on YouTube and kaboom. We are live. We're live here. Welcome to the Inner Solutions live stream every Tuesday night at 6:30 Central. We are here, and by we, I mean me. And this is here in spirit, of course. My good friend, Enis. It is July 27th. 2021. How's your heart today, everyone? So glad to be here. As you know how this works, this is a place to come and ask questions. This is a place to come and share stories. This is a place to come and give active support to those who are going through similar things as you, whether it be panic, anxiety, or anything related to mental health or those topics. Yeah, so let's get... So in the chat, just post your stories, say hello, let us know where you're from, let us know why you're tuning in, let us know where you're going, what you're going through, so that we can make sure you're on the right track and give you those tangible next steps. Oh my goodness, I can't remember my password. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. I don't remember what it is. I can't fix it. If you're joining us on YouTube, unfortunately, I can't log into the YouTube account. I can't remember the password right now. Hold on. Can't. Nope. One more try. Yeah. I did it. I did it. The last second I pulled it through. I feel like a champion. If you're joining us on, there he is. I feel like a true champion. So let's see where everybody's from, what's going on as I post this all around the world. Let me know where you guys are from, and let me know what's going on with you. Anxiety, DPDR from Indiana. Thank you so much. Latea. What's up, Nikki? How are you? Tina, my sister, what's going on? What's going on from Chicago? Tina, good to see you. Sarah, welcome. My name is Jim. Welcome here. What is... how can we help you? What are you going through? Are you an anxiety struggler? Are you an anxiety struggle with her? I think I'm funny. All right, let's pop this in here. We are going to take a look at a beautiful diagram that I wrote today. That's going to be, we're going to call it Behavior Emotions 101. And really what that is let's see if we get this whole thing. There we go. Perfect. Really what that is we're going to talk about what are your emotions? Like, why do you feel the way you feel? How does this stuff form? Why does your brain work the way it does? How does behavior, how do our decisions work? All that kind of stuff. We're going to talk about that and take a look at a diagram that I drew this morning on a separate live stream that looks like a 6-year-old drew it. But hey, we'll say my inner child drew it. Perfect. So if you're coming in from one of the Facebook groups that we reached out to, that's fantastic. Okay. All right. We're good. All right, let's pull this over here. Okay. All right. I want this to fit to the window. All right, what do we got going on? Latea says anxiety, depersonalization, derealization from Indiana here. First of all, welcome, Latea. Good to see you again. So tell me about the depersonalization, derealization. Is there any sort of rhyme or reason to it? Typically, a dissociative symptom like those are, most of the time is one of a few different things. One can be caused by just high fatigue or like high blood sugar. So like if you get into a place where you eat a big meal, you'll feel a little more derealized or depersonalized after that meal, a little more foggy brained. Another is typically some sort of part of you that is blocking you from taking something internally that you feel and externalizing it. So you're kind of stuck in this internal feedback loop where you can't quite get out what you want to get out, even though it's something that you're probably safe and isn't a big deal. There's some part of you that feels anxious about releasing it. So you get kind of caught in this in between the external and the internal experience where everything's foggy or you feel disconnected from yourself. I feel a little bit of that right now, if I'm completely honest. So this is really great. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to slow down my breathing. So do this with me, Latea. And do some diaphragmatic breathing. Put my hand on my stomach. Slow my breathing down. And I'm just going to note things I see. I see the poster on the wall. I see the light. I see the camera. I'm just going to soothe my system and slow it down. And what I'm not going to do, Latte, is I'm not going to fight this. I'm not going to force anything to happen in the way I think it should happen. I'm just going to give a little bit of acceptance, not complacency. I'm not going to completely surrender to it and say, oh, well, I guess I'll just be this way the rest of my life. That wouldn't be acceptance. I'm going to say, okay, this is where I'm at right now. And it's okay. I'm still functioning. But I'm going to minimize it and decatastrophize it. And just know this is a symptom of my anxiety or a symptom of something else going on in my system. And as I figure out what that is, and as I work through that, this symptom will subside. 100%. All right, Sarah says, feeling the loss of all my siblings and my parent, lone wolf. Wow. So, first let me just apologize for your loss, Sarah. When you say lone wolf, what exactly do you mean by lone wolf? Do you mean lone wolf like you're feeling alone? Do you mean lone wolf like that's been the place that you've been in your family or with your friends? Lone wolf. Let me check on something real quick. Is that okay? Hold on. Let me fix this real quick. Okay. I'm still here. I'm here. I'm fixing something as I answer these questions. Let me keep reading on. So, hello from Mount Eaton, Ohio. Maria, good to see you. How's your heart today? Mount Eaton, Ohio. I think you're the first person from Mount Eaton, Ohio that I think I've ever met. Yeah, that's the beautiful drawing that we're going to be taking a look at in a little bit. Okay, perfect. All right. I just want to make sure we're working. We're up and running here. So I am actually gearing up for a bit of a facility move on my own. So my setup is a little broken down. But we're killing it here. We're killing it. So feeling the loss of all my siblings and my parents, lone wolf. Are you alone in your family system now? Sarah, yeah. Are they? Is it something that you're separated from them, or it's a permanent loss? Curious and want to know. Diane, what's up? Ashley, what's poppin'? How are you? How's your heart today? Carol says, Tai Chi, we whistle in, whistle out, it works. Let's give it a shot. Carol, if I'm honest, I already want to punch myself in the face because that whistling is just agitating me. No, I'm just kidding. I'm being a little dramatic, but that's cool. I like that. Cindy says, hi. What's up, Cindy? Nikki says, I'm just happy to be here. What's going on with you, Nikki? Nicole, give me some material here. These people are being real quiet and real stingy about sharing. Just kidding. Yeah, guys, if you want to join our class, we've got a lot of class members here. Our class teaches the foundations of how to deal with panic and anxiety, more so starting at panic attacks than anything. Shoot us a message here on Facebook and we'll tell you more details about it. It's a subscription-based class. There's no contract. It's proven to be useful for the people who come through it. And then also, of course, we work with clients one-on-one. Nothing beats getting some personalized attention to help you work through what you're working through. So if those are things that you're interested in, you're wanting to gain some extra support, or if you're just here just to audit and just learn, that's awesome, awesome, awesome. Please, check out the YouTube page. Recommend the page to people you think who will help it. Again, we have a goal of helping over 1 million people by 2026, 2025. Yeah. Diane says, last week talked about my dental anxiety. It was traumatic and very painful. I'm still in pain. Talked here before about the fact that I can't drive too far. Backed out of my driveway, someone came around a corner and hit me. How will I get over anxiety if things keep happening to me? I'm more scared than ever. Yeah, so Diane, what we would call that is a rough day, right? And we would say, don't throw the baby out with the bathwater, meaning that when you're making progress, there is no progress that's just a straight trajectory up. And where people find it's the hardest is when they start to get a little bit of momentum, then they have a bad day or they have a bad thing happen. And it just feels like it reactivates all the stuff, all the pain, all the stress, all the difficulty. So what I would encourage you to do is to zoom out and say, how long have you been working on making your situation better? Truly doing the things you need to do. And what are you doing? Are you doing everything you can do? Are you doing 80% of everything you can do? Are you doing 40% of everything you can do? Are you doing 10% of everything you can do? Honestly, be honest with yourself and be honest with us. And the truth is probably you're doing some things, and there's a hell of a lot more that you could do. There's a hell of a lot more that all of us could do. And so if you zoom out, you get the information out there, whether it's on paper, whether it's you talking to yourself or talking to a friend and saying, hey, so I'm probably doing about 30% of the things that weird bald guy in the tank top on those streams says that I should be doing. And realistically, I've only been doing them for 3 weeks. And the truth is, before I had this accident, I wasn't doing very well. Or no, I was doing a little better, but not great, but definitely better. So if I zoom out, I was doing 30% for a very short amount of time. I was starting to get some momentum. And then something happened. I got into an accident. And accidents happen, bad days happen, rough nights sleep happen. And the truth is, if you weren't feeling so crappy, Diane, it wouldn't have such a massive impact. But because you're overwhelmed by the emotion of anxiety, because you're overwhelmed and unable to rationalize properly, which is a lot of what anxiety does to us, you're just not able to think in a grounded way. And so you need other grounding and rooting techniques, 100%. So it's like you have to use your intellect when you feel grounded to keep you in the direction and in the intention. And the direction is, you got this, man. You got this. You can do it. 100%. It's going to take time. It was not an overnight process for you to get where you're at today. It's not going to be an overnight process to unlearn and to And that's call it what it is, Dan. Exactly. I'm overwhelmed. I'm compromised. That's totally fine. Yeah. And it's like you're here and you're truly hungry to get better, and that's amazing. And that's more than I can say for a lot of people. But you're really, really here, and you're really, really present. And you're going through a lot of congruent, tough situations. There was a reason you would stay with somebody who you say is a narcissist. There's a reason you would stay with them. It was fulfilling a need. As much as you don't want to face it, whether it's some form of codependency, whether it's some form of fear of being alone, there was a need that was being fulfilled, and now you're separated. And that's a hell of a transition to make. A lot of people that come forward, whether they're one-on-one clients or through the class, They're going through a huge transition in life. Now, evolutions as a person are completely natural. The new average length of somebody at a job is between 5 and 10 years. So it's like, think about that. That means if you're working for, from 25 to 65, that's like 6 or 7 job changes per person. That's a hell of a lot of evolutions, a hell of a lot of bouncing around and shifting. So if you get comfortable with change, if you accept it and get to know yourself, that'll help bridge those gaps. But with something like staying with some sort of narcissist or somebody with some sort of personality disorder, a borderline personality disorder, someone who struggles with bipolar disorder, if you stay with them and then all of a sudden you leave, there was a reason you were staying with them. Those situations are tough. And if it was fulfilling a need to have a partner, if it was fulfilling your codependent needs, that's okay. I'm not judging it. But look at it rationally. It's like, if it were somebody else in your situation, what would you think? You'd probably say, hey, it's probably way different to be alone. Even though that situation sucked and was painful, there was a reason you stayed in it for that long. And so give yourself a little bit of a time to adjust. Give yourself a little bit of grace. That's my new word. Give yourself some grace. Nikki says, still dealing with the whole COVID stuff. It's making me so mad. Can you explain a little more, Nikki? I would love to hear more. It's making you so mad in the sense of like, you feel like you want just to get a little bit of a break. In what way is it making you mad? Share a little more so I can understand. Yeah, it's very tricky. When you are a little more. Sorry, I'm just trying to get this all set up. What's up, Boltsky? How are you, brother? Michelle, good to see you. Michelle says, join the classes. They're so beneficial. Thanks for the promo. Thanks for the testimonial. Bolt, how are you, sir? How's your heart today? Has anyone else experienced burning mouth syndrome after anxiety? Maria, yes, experiencing it right now. Interesting. Burning mouth syndrome, from what I've heard, a lot of times can be due to acid reflux because a lot of people with anxiety, a huge symptom is just nausea, acid reflux leading to GERD, just disarray in the gut. And a lot of times just leading to, like GERD, nausea, waking up in the middle of the night, IBS, stuff like that. Yeah. Burning mouth syndrome. Huh. Lips, gums, palate, throat, or whole mouth. Burning mouth syndrome appears suddenly could develop gradually over time. The specific cause often can't be determined. Although that makes treatment more challenging, we're close to a healthcare team. Interesting. Yeah, we don't hear about that too much. Definitely haven't heard too much about it in the it hasn't come around too much for us. So that's a little bit new to me. My understanding was it would be a acid reflux thing, but according to professionals, syndrome is related to problems with taste and sensory nerves of the peripheral nervous or central nervous system. Okay. Well, what is it? What's the experience like? Feeling of burning or like you ate something spicy all the time, sometimes your tongue or gums. Yeah, that honestly, hasn't come up. Where did you hear that it's related to anxiety? Because the majority of literature that I've read a lot. I haven't heard that that's a common symptom. Definitely heard acid reflux. Definitely heard GERD. Definitely heard nausea. Definitely heard muscle tension and headaches and migraines and all that kind of stuff. Bolt wants to know the YouTube. Yeah, they are different, Bolt. Yeah. I don't... It's more funnel people from Twitch to the Facebook and YouTube, because the Twitch also is, much more laid back. This is decently laid back, but this is a little more focused on, unifocused on panic and anxiety. But we definitely get some overlaps. This is all company stuff too, whereas the Twitch is just individual stuff. Even though there is overlap, it's scary and uncomfortable. Yeah, I'm so sorry you're struggling with that. Where are you at, Maria Tamayo? Maria Tamayo, a nice Italian girl. Yes, my name is Cipollini. Where are you at with your anxiety? What is your give me a little bit of a synopsis if you're willing to share with it. Would love to hear more about what's going on with you. Nikki says, trying to figure out if I want the vaccine. Can't plan my wedding without wondering if it will cause people to get COVID, and just overall, just want to scream. It's affecting my little girl as well. I really want to find a place where I could scream at the top of my lungs and throw things to feel a little better, LBVS. So do it. Yeah, go take a drive. Sometimes when I get, just bottled up, I'll go for a drive and sing along at the top of my lungs with some rock music. It feels good. Diane, feeling of burning like I'm spicy all the time. Yeah, we read that. Janie says, if you look up, can you have it due to anxiety? It will say definitely. If you look up, can you have it due to anxiety? It will say definitely. Where is burning mouth syndrome from anxiety? According to medscape.com, I don't know what that is. Medscape. Huh. About Medscape. Mood and emotional disturbances have been associated with burning mouth syndrome. In particular, patients may know anxiety, irritability, mood changes, and other symptoms consistent with depression. Anxiety, irritability, mood changes, and other symptoms. This is supported by a report by Adamo et al., which found that compared with control, study patient with burning mouth syndrome were more likely to experience poor sleep quality, anxiety, and depression. Study involved 200 patients with the syndrome. Whether mood symptoms are predisposing factors or are caused by the disorder is unclear. So whether mood symptoms are predisposing factors or caused by the disorder is unclear. So it doesn't know if correlation is not necessarily causation. It's trying to say that it doesn't know if people are anxious because they have the disorder, or if they have the disorder because they're anxious, or if they work synergistically. That is what this article says. Is unclear. This article is from April 15th, 2021. Chemo mouthpiece. Here's one. Here's a scholarly article. Correlation between burning mouth syndrome and anxiety in the elderly inmates in Tehran. Results. Individuals with burning mouth syndrome assessed their burning pain severity to be blah, 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 blah. Similar significant differences were observed in state and trait anxiety between the two groups. Seems that both state and trait anxiety are associated with burning mouth syndrome. Okay. State and trait anxiety. Okay. This is in elderly inmates of sanitaria in Tehran. All right. That is wild. That is wild. So this morning I was doing a live stream and we drew a picture of a model. And I think I'll share it right now. So, and I can explain this too. And I really want to encourage you guys to share in the chat, share what's going on with you. This is, going to be pretty passive. Would love just more feedback, just more questions, things like that, but no pressure. So here's what we're looking at. Okay. So this is a model that looks like it was drawn by a 6-year-old. But actually what this is, see if we can move me out of the way. Maybe a little smaller. What we've got here is a model, okay, of you and what's going on internally inside of you. So here we have kind of start to finish from how we take some sort of sensory input, some sort of event, and how it filters through us and becomes an action or a behavior. So we start with some kind of objective event. This could be anything. This could be somebody looks at you funny at the grocery store. This could be, I bet you never thought this would have come on a live stream when you asked this morning for what you were asking for. And starts with some kind of objective event. Okay, so again, somebody looks at you funny, somebody says something to you, you witness something happen, whatever. The event goes into you through your sensory input. So you see it, you hear it, you look at it, and it goes into you. Okay, so it goes into us. We observe it through sensory input. Now, here's where we have our interpretation of the event. And again, this is done in like 1996 in Microsoft Paint, so get off my case. That's why it looks like a 6-year-old drew it. It gets filtered into us. Now, we as people have all kinds of what we call parts, okay? These parts are technically clusters of neural processes. These are sub-personalities that we have. This is most easily kind of shown when somebody puts a piece of cake in front of you. Part of you wants it. Part of you says, I shouldn't eat it because I'm dieting, right? So where we really are talking about parts here, and you've got all kinds of parts. You've got playful parts. You've got silly parts. You've got fun parts. You've got angry parts. You've got polarized parts that are extreme. So what we're talking here is about really more negative reactions, right? So there's two main types of parts. There's this top tier in the brown, which we call protective parts. And then there's this bottom tier in the red where we call exiles. Exiles are parts of you you don't want to feel. Feelings and parts of you that you don't want to feel. And what exiles really are kind of like physical snapshots of traumatic or shocking experiences, right? So you know how when somebody insults you in a certain way and it hits a raw spot inside of you, right? That would be something we call an exile. So this is where fear, pain, embarrassment, guilt, shame, unsafety, loneliness, abandonment, any sort of major trauma, pain from neglect, pain, trauma from sexual abuse, physical abuse, things like that, whether it was one incident, a series of incidents, okay? Then on top, we have these protectors. Now, the protector's job is to protect you from feeling any of these things, okay? Any of these things. So these are some examples of what protectors are. Anger is a protector, right? An overachieving part of you, a hoarding part of you, a people-pleasing part, addictive parts, self-critical parts, overeating parts, perfectionistic parts, and most commonly avoidant parts, right? And this is not limited to things like suicidal parts of you are protective. Depressive parts of you are typically protective parts. It may not in the moment you may not see why they're protective in the moment, but when you really break them down, and this is why it's useful to work with a coach or a therapist, you'll start to understand how your behavior is working. And that's why it's so valuable to do that, right? So let's take one of these and look at it. So any of these parts has some sort of anxiety or fear that if they didn't do what they were doing, you'd feel something here that you wouldn't want to feel. So for example, a lot of times when people have a large addiction, let's say it's to drugs or alcohol, typically it's rooted in something down here. So a common interaction would be there's an event, somebody says something to them, they hear it, maybe they say something about how they don't have their life together. So what happens is when a protective part takes over, first, it activates an exile. So let's say somebody says they don't have their life together, they hear it, it activates shame. Their system doesn't want to feel the shame because it's so painful. And so what happens is the addictive part takes over. And it says, we need to use so that we don't feel this shame. It's a way of protecting them from the shame. Now, what you learn is that a lot of these protective parts can be extremely destructive, extremely self-sabotaging. But they're not bad because they're really trying to protect us from pain. Their intention is really good and pure. It's that there's nobody managing them. There's nobody letting them know they don't have to do this. This is why I say all the time that you as a system, you're not a person, you're a system. I mean, you're a whole universe. You're a company, you're a corporation, you're a family. You are a complicated being. So here is where the manager needs to come. The self. We call it the self with the capital S. The self is everybody at their core. It's your wise mind. It's your intuition. It's your inner samurai warrior, inner mother nature, whatever you want to call it. You at your core are the self. The self is not a part. The self is your core. And there's a lot of spiritual connotations that could come to this. You know, we're a secular organization, but in a lot of different religions, there's parallels of this. And the core is very accepting, calm, confident, compassionate. It feels safe and secure. It feels safe and secure even in chaos. Okay. So if the self starts to manage these protective parts and these exiles, if it starts to help these protectors curb their behavior, if it helps to heal these exiles so there's nothing left to protect, then that causes what we call more of this self-energy to come through, more calm, confidence, compassion, curiosity, and ultimately curbs this, our behavior, the action that we take. Okay. So let's look at what's happening with some of you. Let's take Diane's example. Diane had to go to the dentist. Okay. So the event is Diane has to go to the dentist. She knows she has to do it. So what it hits right down here is fear, right? The fear of driving. So Diane may go to avoidance. I'm not going to do it. I'm not going to drive. I'm going to take an Uber, or I'm not going to go to the dentist because it's going to be so painful. And so that will dictate her behavior. She'll call the dentist, cancel the appointment. She won't go to the dentist, right? That's a possibility, right? So you see here that that's how it can be detrimental. Now, if Diane doesn't go to the dentist, her teeth are going to rot. If she doesn't face the driving and help with the driving, then she's never going to drive. She's going to be stuck at home or be taking Ubers or asking her friends for rides forever. And that can be detrimental. So if Diane works with the fear to use a technique like use maybe something in DBT, like do the opposite. So instead of avoiding, she engages. It may be painful, but eventually she'll break the habit and cause this fear to go away because she'll have repetitions in driving and feel better. And so the fear will go away and there'll be no reason to avoid it. Okay. All right, you guys with me? All our system wants to feel is safe and secure, right? And the calm, confidence, compassion, the openness, the acceptance is a byproduct of more of what we call this self-energy come through. So this self-energy is really rooted in acceptance, really rooted in all those great C words. And so there's other ways to start to curb these behaviors so that they're not just, you're not at the mercy of these kind of extreme polarized parts. One is to practice mindfulness. Mindfulness gives you a little bit more time from the interpretation, the story we tell ourselves, to the external action. In mindfulness, you can be more observing what's happening. You can be more present with it without absorbing it as true. And that'll really start to change everything. And then also there's something we call just pausing, practicing the pause. Stopping, practicing the pause, and asking yourself, is what I'm about to do going to make things better or worse for me in the long run? So it's like something happens, you see it through your senses, you feel it through your senses, you hear it. Now the interpretation's going on. Right before the behavior, you just stop. Is what I'm about to do, is avoiding driving, is avoiding the dentist, is not having my wedding, is staying away from the grocery store, is isolating myself in my house. Is this going to make things better or worse for me in the long run? And it's hard because this stuff affects your thoughts and your emotions so heavily. So that's my case for finding a good coach or therapist, is work with these different parts of you. Get curious about them. Get open about them. You don't know them. Think of yourself and think of this self as the CEO of a corporation that has to get all these parts to work in alignment. We want to feel safe and secure. It doesn't mean we want to stay in the house, because that actually doesn't harbor safety and security. That harbors a feeling of isolation. We want to feel like we can handle things. And that comes through creating the space, being attuned and in touch with these parts of you, these full sub-personalities that will actually give you feedback that you can connect with a good practitioner. Do we have any questions on this beautiful, beautiful model? Bolt, I want to thank you for asking for this morning. My good man. My good man. Hey, Crystal, what's up? You, of all people, know I'm normally a tough cookie with battling the back and forth since I've been in the classes, but today anxiety is fear is trying to win. Don't think of it as a win. Think of today as a day where you just need to ease and soothe. Remember, we talked about distress tolerance. The foundation there is distract and soothe. It's like if your system is that overwhelmed, it needs to just rest. It needs to be calmed. But I get it. Hey, Crystal, what's up? How are you, sweetheart? Good to see you. Thanks for coming by. So it's me again. This Friday is my MRI for my heart. Still freaking out. Not so much about the small spaces, more about getting the contrast injections and the results. After today, I still have to wait until the 9th for my heart results. If positive, I have heart disease. If negative, it rules everything out as anxiety. Been experiencing ectopic beats with my heart so bad it literally makes you feel like you're dying. This opened the anxiety door to health anxiety major. Sure. Now everything is everything little things my body or mind feels, it goes straight to dying. It's awful. My husband and family think I'm crazy. Not having the support, I think, it's just as challenging as my anxiety panic symptoms. Crystal, it's anxiety, man. It's such a formulaic story. So yeah, it's just going to be a lot of trying to ground yourself. And then just saying, so what? So what if it's like, what if it's heart disease? It's like, so what? You'll find it and you'll treat it. What if it means that I'm dying? Well, so what? You'll treat it. It's like that part of you that wants that safety. It needs you to turn those what ifs into so whats. It needs you to be able to ground it. It needs you to still get outside and accept it. Yeah. We're here to support you. 100%, Crystal. And you'll get in the MRI machine and they'll give you the injections. It's not a big deal. I've been through it. And the problem now is not the heart and it's not the MRI. The problem now is the habitual thought pattern, the habit that's been reinforced as a shock to your system. What is the real fear there, though? What if it is heart disease? turn into what you're scared of and say, what if it is heart disease? Bring it on. What does it really mean for you, though? So if you have a heart disease, well, if that is true, what does it mean? Well, it means that I may be dying. Well, if that's true, what does it mean? It means that my life will be over. Well, if that is true, what does it mean? It means that everyone will forget about me. Well, if that's true, what does it mean? If it means everyone will forget about me, if everyone will forget about me, it means no one really cared about me. Well, if that's true, what does it mean? It means I'm alone. Oh. That falls in that bottom category. I'm alone. So that would be this. That would be reliving one of these exiles, some of the pain again. And that's really what a problem would be. Steven, what's up, brother? How are you, man? Good to see you too, my man. How's everything? How's your heart? How's your soul? I experienced health anxiety as well. You're not crazy. Yeah, you're definitely not crazy, Crystal. This is, half of who comes into our class struggles with health anxiety. Big time. Maria says, I have severe anxiety and panic attacks. I've been dealing with those symptoms in my mouth for a month. I saw a doctor yesterday. She sent me to get an MRI to check for any strokes. So she triggered my anxiety. So I looked for the symptoms and I found out about burning mouth syndrome. Yeah, be careful Googling, but what can you do about it? Is there some kind of treatment? Yeah, definitely. Diane, I love it. Tandra says, hi, Jim. You are a gift to so many people. This is definitely your calling. Keep being great. Tandra, you just melted my heart. Thank you, darling. Hope everything's going well with you. Hope you're gaining some confidence, gaining some ground, feeling like you're moving in a good trajectory. Dude, it sucks. I get it. I've had a few clients that come through and we have like a home run first session. It's just like, bam, slam. Bam. And you know what it usually is? Usually it's like, hey, what are you scared of? Well, I have a hard time being in public. Okay, let's go to the dollar store. What? Let's go to the dollar store. What? No, I don't. I'm not ready. It's like, yeah, good. You didn't have time to stew and worry and freak out about it. Let's go to the dollar store. It's going to be okay. Come on. It's going to be okay. Let's go. Come on. Keep me on the phone. I'll be here with you, sort of. All right. How you feeling? I mean, I'm okay right now, but it's, just a little anxious, but I guess we're going to go. Okay, here we go. We get in the car. Yeah, and just talking like, yeah, so, how you doing? It's like, man, not too bad, actually. I'm driving to the dollar store. Here we go. Okay. Okay, I'm in the parking lot of the dollar store. Okay, I'd pull over. It's like, okay, well, okay. It's like, no, don't think. Just go. Just go. Seriously, just go. Just go. Okay. Are you sure? Just, okay. Goes in the dollar store. Ching, ching, ching. Hey, how's it going? Okay, I'm in the dollar store. How do you feel? Okay. Yeah. All right, go get yourself a Three Musketeers. Actually, no, you destimulate your nervous system. Don't eat Three Musketeers. Get yourself a nice little Powerade Zero. Get some electrolytes, everything like that. Okay, yeah, okay. How you doing? You doing okay? If you're not doing okay, we'll leave. No, yeah, I'm fine. Actually, this isn't so bad. I'm at the dollar store. He goes, hey, it's $15.33 for a Powerade. That's crazy. I put in the thing. I get the thing. It goes. I guess it's okay. Get in the car. It's like, what just happened? I was out in public. I thought you said you couldn't go out in public. Yeah, I didn't think I could. But you went out. How was it? Yeah, it wasn't that bad. Okay, let's go home. That's how some first sessions go. And then it's like, oh, yeah, I didn't realize I could. I thought I couldn't do it. It is what it is. Tara says, Tara or Tara? Started a new job after 15 years. My anxiety is ramped up and I'm feeling overwhelmed. What are you doing, Tara? Are you a tarot card reader? Come on, guys. We have fun here. We have a good time. Cindy says, I'm fighting OCD right now. Don't fight the OCD. I know what you mean, though. You're fighting the compulsion, it sounds like, because of my anxiety being so high since yesterday. What happened yesterday, Cindy? What happened? Cindy, I feel like that was such a cliffhanger. I'm fighting OCD right now because of my anxiety being so high since yesterday. ... What happened yesterday? Diane says, I've yelled your line a few times when anxiety kicked in. Bring it on! It's helped. Seriously, man. Call the bluff. See, kill me. Go ahead. Take me out. Sick of it. Tara says, I work in healthcare. That's cool. You found out your son lied to you? God, I lied to my mom a lot when I was a teenager. A lot. Cindy, it sounds like the OCD gets kicked up when things feel out of control. But the truth is, there's a lot of chaos. Our mind wants patterns, it wants formulas, it wants control, it wants continuity, it wants consistency. That's not realistic. It's just not realistic. It doesn't work like that. The world doesn't work like that. It's a lot of chaos. That's why we as humans adopt science so much, because it's like, oh, consistency. That's so helpful. Jim, I couldn't have made it through this last week of work without your line. So what? 4 more days to go. I appreciate it, Marie. Lots of love. Lots of love. Thanks for shooting the testimonial as well. Guys, if you want to support us, there's a beautiful thing you can do. If you shoot a kind of 1 to 2 minute vertical testimonial of what you've gotten out of these live streams or our class or our one-on-one coaching, that like is so valuable to us, and you give us our permission to use it, that's like huge for us. So if you're willing to share your story and kind of the before, after, the hero's journey, and how if this or we played a part in it, even if you just want to share your story, that's awesome. You can shoot a video and send us to us through Facebook Messenger. You can post it to the Inner Solutions page here, or just send us a message on Facebook and say, hey, I'm willing to shoot you a video. How could we do it? Oh, it's fine, Marie. They're going to get clipped down, but thank you so much. It's going to get clipped down. I can't wait to watch it and bask in the glory of the success story. Why did it hurt so much, Cindy, that you found out your son lied to you? You know what I did? I actually opened up a Google chat line, and I'm going to open it up either next week or the week after. And you guys can call in anonymously if you want. Let's get some calls in here. Let's get this going. You know, the chat's cool. I know we got some anxious people here, and they might not want to do it. That's fine. But let's get better. Let's get healing. Let's get things cruising. It was a major family trust issue, and he lied to me, and I found out. Okay. I don't know any details, but do you understand? So let's look at our beautiful chart here. So what happened to you is there was an event. You found out your son lied to you. You found out, you heard it, read it, saw it, whatever. And now there's an interpretation. It hits something down here. Maybe it hit some fear. It hit some pain. Maybe you felt lonely or abandoned by him lying to you. So now the response is what? Compulsions. OCD is a huge protector. Yeah, compulsive behavior, right? Compulsive Googling health symptoms, compulsive hand washing. That's a huge protector. It helps you feel in control, right? That'd be an extreme part. So it causes the behavior. So what we do for OCD, Cindy, is we practice something called systemic desensitization. Actually, we practice something called exposure and response prevention. And it means you pause in between the thought and the compulsion. You pause. and you ask yourself the question, is what I'm about to do going to make things better or worse for me in the long run? Well, look who decided to show up. There he is, ladies and gentlemen, our good friend and mentor. Yeah, I drew this chart on my Twitch live stream this morning. Amanda, what's up, dude? Welcome back. Good to see you. Happy to have you. This place sucked without you. No, I'm just kidding. It's a joke. This place is great. I love you guys. So yeah. So that's, Cindy, if we're going to break down your behavior, right? Event, you witnessed it. It hit you somewhere here. If you can identify this stuff, this deeper exile level, and then the higher protective level, which is obviously the compulsion, it helps to understand, wow, I feel pain. I feel abandoned. Well, what do you do if you feel abandoned? Ask yourself, did he really abandon me? Did he really do that to me, or did he activate something already inside of you? Because the answer is he activated something that's already inside of you. And if you take it personally, and that part will, all these parts, all these emotions, all these deep-rooted activations of issues that are already living inside of us. These are physical trauma, shock memories that are just activated. Will skew your thinking. Will literally cause the blood to leave your prefrontal cortex and go to your limbic system, to the emotional part of your brain, so that you can't rationalize as well. And will lead to you having skewed, irrational thoughts based in skewed, irrational beliefs. Like, my son did this to hurt me. My son has abandoned me. And I promise you, that's not why he did it. One of the 4 truths is don't take things others do personally, because it has nothing to do with you. That is the God's honest truth. I just scared the dog when I did that. This is like a monologue here. And I didn't even realize how off center I am. I didn't even check the frame. Seriously, jeez. This whole time? I was that far off. And the salt lamp's off. There we go. Now we're cooking. Yeah. All right. We've got about 5 minutes left, and I fixed it. There we go. There we go. So that it is what it is. So, I mean, this chart is applicable to not just negative behavior, not just negative emotions, all behavior, all emotions. These are just examples of parts. There's tons more. And again, practicing mindfulness gives you that time between the interpretation and the external action and the behavior, where it's almost like you get a little bit more time, bandwidth, capacity to make a choice, to cultivate the awareness. And then also, of course, as my friend Amanda says, practicing the pause. Take a second. Is what I'm about to do going to make things better or worse for me in the long run? So managing all these parts, getting to know them, getting curious about them, learning about them, their characteristics, when they come out, do they enjoy what they do? Or do they feel like they have to? What are they scared would happen if they didn't do their job? All very powerful questions to ask. All very powerful questions to ask. All right. So that seems like a good place to end for today. I want to thank... Yep. Yeah. What does this mean about me? If that were true, what does it mean about me? Right. Good question to ask. So my son lied to me. So if that were true, what does it mean about me? Well, he doesn't care about me. If that were true, what does that mean about me? He doesn't care. If he doesn't care about me, that means I must be a bad mom. If that's true, what does it mean about you? If I'm a bad mom, it means that I can't do the base things necessary. Well, if that's true, what does it mean about you? It means I'm incompetent. Well, if that's true, what does it mean about you? It means that if I'm incompetent, I'm not going to be able to get a job or live a great life. Well, if that's true, what does it mean about you? It means I'm going to wither. If that's true, what does it mean about you? It means I'm going to be lost and be miserable and be unhappy. If that's true, what does it mean about you? It means life isn't worth living. Heavy. So listen, guys, I'm proud of every one of you. Thank you so much to those of you who are here sharing. Thank you so much to those of you who are here just auditing. I really appreciate everything you do. I appreciate you guys' share. I appreciate you guys who are sharing the page and doing your best to get this information and our resources out to those who need it. Let's just build our network and web here to help as many people as possible. If you want to support us, or if you want more resources, or if you want more support, send us a message here on Facebook. If you're interested in some one-on-one coaching, or you're interested in joining our class, we do have open enrollment. So it is always enrolling. It's so good on so many levels for so many people. If you want to help us by shooting a testimonial, stating what you've gotten out of these live streams or the class or some coaching, shoot us a message on Facebook. We'll tell you exactly what to do for that. That's super, super simple. Other than that, guys, as I always say, no matter where you are, no matter who you are, no matter how long you've been struggling, how intense it is, no matter how hopeless you feel, you're never, ever stuck. You might just need some support, and the right kind of support. For Inner Solutions, my name is Jim Cipollini. Thank you guys so much. Lots of love and good mental health. Have a good one. Take care.